But I wanted to move into a conversation about COVID-19 and how it's going to affect our Christmas. You know that, and I've said this so many times this week, over the past few weeks or so, the tourism minister, a few weeks ago, actually, he made mention of the fact that we were going to be expecting about 150,000 people coming in for Christmas. And there's so many shows that have been lined up. I'm sure you've seen a lot of them, the concerts, of course, the staples, which we have, like Sarkodie's concerts. Amini has a concert. I think there's the girls also having their concert. There's shows here. There's comedy shows. There's lots of parties. There's lots of beach parties and stuff going on. A lot of things going. And usually December is like cocoa season, businesses are doing well because people are eating out, going out more, buying more and all of that. Last year, we had a really difficult time. We had election, and then we had also Christmas, and we kind of, over chilled. And so we saw 330 people die in January alone, which is the highest deaths recorded at a particular point in Ghana. So again, with the new variant, we're kind of wary now because, we know that the way that we behave over December will affect 2022 in terms of COVID cases and deaths and all of that. But the industry, the entertainment industry, of course, will be affected if we're not able to really get a handle on, testing and people coming in and quarantine and all of that. So this morning we're going to have a conversation on that. And joining me is Pep Jr. He is an entertainment pundit and event organizer. Also Kwame Rasta, entertainment pundit and a member of Stone Boys team. I think he does PR. And Ken Saki from Roverman Productions. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Very much.
Okay, so Kwame, let me start with you. I'm loving the locks this morning, by the way. Absolutely beautiful, but loving that look. So let me start with you. So, for example, if we're going to take the fact that you work with Stoneboy, so let's talk about concerts and stuff. How much of, the COVID-19 protocols and the scare or the fear around COVID-19 has had to go into your planning of Christmas events? And how much has that affected, the quality, the numbers, and all of that, of whatever you're planning for us this Christmas?
Thank you very much, and good morning to your esteemed viewers and listeners out there. Yes, I think all facets of life or enterprise have, by this time, grown or gotten used what COVID or the bit about life that is COVID. So yes, we are very much aware, but thankfully it is not news that there is COVID at the height of our festive season, and especially with this latest variant that we are still trying to, in each and every household, trying to figure out what or how bad it's going to get. So yes, and for persons like our outfit who are hoping to cash in on events, there's been series upon series of meetings that we have had in-house, especially with vendors, and look at what we have up our sleeve for Ghanaians come 21st December, the Grand Arena, where Beanie Man is coming down to support Stoneboy with the Beam concert. Then for us, it's a more dicey situation because a lot of money has already gone down, most of which cannot be refunded if the event doesn't see the light of day. So we are all on our toes and hoping that, in view of the COVID protocols that The GTA, for instance, has prescribed for persons who want to come and join us celebrate the Beam concert. We are hoping that it will be enough, because ultimately it's about the preservation of life and living beyond today. So yes, we are very much aware, and I am also, I'm sure I speak for other entertainment vendors and organizers by saying that we all want to go do our thing and live, beyond the day. But what else can we do, and how far can we go? Again, there are protocols and prescribed by experts who know better than we do. And the least or the best we can do is to make sure we adhere to it.
Right, okay. It sounds like a mix of hope and, all of that, because it's difficult and we can't really tell what it's gonna look like. Pep, let me talk to you for a second. In terms of organizing events, are you noticing, for example, that people are a bit more reluctant in terms of, putting down deposits, making payments, and all of that, because of what potentially could happen, especially with the new variants that we're dealing with? Hello, Pep. Pep, are you there? Okay, I can't seem to connect with Pep, so I'm going to move on to Ken Saki. Nisaki, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Fantastic. So let's talk about theatre for a second. And I think that possibly theatre was one of the areas that was most hard hit by COVID-19. And, you're just kind of opening back up now. I think, from about middle of this year. So, I mean, you hear about a new variant. We saw what happened last Christmas, and and for a sector that has really suffered and really struggled, what are some of the things that come into your mind when you hear, okay, there's a new variant, and we don't know, we'll see how it goes?
Well, good morning to the viewers, and thank you for having me. Clearly, it's a very worrying thing, because for those of us in the entertainment industry, having people at one place in an auditorium to watch what we do is how we run our business. Without an audience, you cannot run your business. So anything that threatens that becomes a threat to you. Bottom line, affects your cash flow and everything. So that means loss of business for us. So imagine our joy when eventually the theaters were opened and we had to go back to the theater. And now there's a threat of a new variant, which is actually being more deadly than the previous ones. So clearly it sends a little bit of fear. But then we are hopeful that it doesn't get out of hand. And then we're also hopeful that everybody's adhering to the safety protocols and getting vaccinated, so that by the time we actually start our festival of plays, we shouldn't have a situation where we may have to stop or not have our shows altogether. So that is our prayer right now. We are working earnestly for that. But we're also hoping that it doesn't get out of hand, by the time we get round to having our shows.
Okay, so, for example, the GFA, the Ghana Football Association, has said that from January 2022, before you can come to the stadium and watch a match or whatever, you need to show that you've been vaccinated. Do you feel like it's going to get to that point, when it comes to theatre? And how is that even going to be implemented? If somebody has bought a ticket and they come, and they haven't been vaccinated or they don't have their card, how do you deal with that?
Sorry. I think that some of the safety requirements in itself, as it is, we are having a little bit of a challenge, sort of trying to enforce some of these things. So, for instance, we are not allowing our people to eat in the auditorium anymore. Previously, they did that, but now that they have to wear masks, throughout, we are not allowing them to eat anymore. They can once in a while take a sip of water or something like that. So we are facing a little bit of a challenge in that. But then again, the ultimate thing is that it's the health of everybody that that we are all praying for. So then if it means that you'd have to prove that you've been vaccinated, then I think that it's a step in the right direction. And not just for theater events, not just for, I think it's for all shows, because at the end of the day, bottom line, as I mentioned, the health of our audience is key to us. Without an audience, clearly our industry will shut down, and then we won't be able to make any money, and then we'll be out of business. So I think that if push comes to shove and it comes to that, it may be difficult. We'll have a hard time. I won't say we'll have a hard time, but we'll have quite a challenging moments trying to enforce it. But I think that if push comes to shove, and that means that that's what has to be done for our industry to move on, then I am in for it. Now, that being said, I want to encourage everybody who's watching to also get vaccinated. The vaccine is for our own health, it's for our own good. It's to provide a shield and protection for us, so that it wouldn't have to get to a point where you need a vaccination card to come and watch a play and you don't have one, and so you'll have to come and face the unfortunate situation of being sent away because you haven't been vaccinated. If it comes to that, then yeah, why not? Because bottom line, we still need to be in business.
All right, Kwame, let me come back to you. Do you feel that at some point you and your team are going to have to insist on seeing vaccination cards before you enter some of these events? And also, I mean, if you don't mind sharing with us, how are you planning to enforce, all the distancing and stuff, at the concert? Because, I mean, Beanie Man is big, Stonebwoy is big, everybody's going to be so excited. People are going to want to take off their masks and sing and all of that. What's the plan for really keeping a handle on the event?
Thank you, Eniwa. The last time we raised this, it was also via Zoom, and I personally had to chime in with the bit that there are severe penalties to be incurred when you flout the laid down procedures. Now, until about a couple of months ago, I think that was when the GTA issued a directive that persons would have to issue upon arrival at event entrances their vaccination cards. Now, if we flout it, we being the host will be hauled to court. I've seen people being hauled to court for, flouting protocols and were fined hefty fees. Nobody at Benetton Music Group, especially with regards to the investment, and the figures are so scary. And corporate Ghana, we are still counting on to support us. And even without them, Stonebwoy has taken it upon himself to make sure that he invests so much. So we cannot do or go to those heights and something as relatively petty as following simple instructions, spacing the seating arrangement, insisting upon arrival that our guests or patrons issue their vaccination cards or produce them before they. So I think the challenge will be how are we going to confirm that indeed your card is actually legit, your card is valid, and not something else that you are trying to, But again, humans are humans, but at our end, we are putting, at least at the conversation stage, we are aware, and I can assure patrons who would troop in to watch Stonebwoy and Beanie Man perform 21st December at the Grand Arena that we are aware, we are very cognizant of it. We are putting measures in place because I really don't want to be infected by somebody who is just coming to chill. So, I myself value my life. It behoves me to make sure that we are all up and doing and sticking to basic instructions.
All right, sounds good. Ken, let me ask you this because I think last week you ran a play, The Secret Code of Wives, and so
Yes.
you've had some very recent experience with events.
Yes.
And well, what was it like? I mean, are people, more compliant now? Are people willing to wear their face masks and, like you said, not eat, social distance, and all of that? Because no matter how much we talk about it, ultimately it's about compliance.
Yes. We actually started putting in the measures from last year, even before even before it became fully blown, and then we had to go on lockdown. So we had to start taking down details of people. We insisted on the nose mask wearing and all that, the spacing and all that. So our people are now a bit more understanding. Previously, it was very difficult. I mean, it was very difficult, that for them. And also it's difficult for us because the truth is that let's imagine a national theater takes about 1,500 people, right? So spacing means that that's like, less numbers. But we have to comply. And if we're complying, then you also have to. So right now, I think our people are more compliant. The challenge is the fact that they cannot eat in the auditorium. Like, who does that? I mean, who does that? And also the people who are selling, the snack people and all that, they are also complaining a bit because we are selling their people that they can't eat in the auditorium if they bought food and snacks from them. But I think by and large, people are beginning to understand the bigger picture that Roverman is not doing this because Roverman wants to, deny them their comfort. We are doing this because we want to make everybody okay. We are doing this because we are ensuring that everybody be okay for the next show. So on that note, they are actually understanding, and we are having our own people also. That's our own patrons also educating people and telling them that, look, you guys, it's just for 2 hours. If you don't eat anything for 2 hours, nothing will happen to you, and they're enjoying it, So by and by, our people are understanding that, it's not because we don't like them, but it's because we just want them to be okay. So yes, I think when it comes to compliance, we are going somewhere. Once in a while, there's someone who doesn't understand something, but once we're able to explain to them calmly and let them understand what all this is about, I think that they get it and then they comply.
Okay. That sounds good. Kwame, let me ask you the same question about compliance. What's your plan for enforcement? Because, your event is going to be big. Definitely, it's big. It's a lot of people. Actually, why don't I start off by asking you about how many people are you expecting for this event?
Okay, so the Grand Arena standing capacity, it has space for in excess 4,000 people. Sitting, you'll be hovering around 3,000. But in view of I want to stick to the protocols, the COVID protocols, and lay down instructions by experts. We know that we cannot do anywhere near 4,000. So that's the more reason the prices are relatively higher this time round. And so even at that stage where ticketing is involved, we are trying to whittle down on expected crowd, and then also on the grounds. We are very security conscious. We are doing this. The lead company with regards to production is Event Factory, Nabil's Event Factory. They've seen everything before. So experience-wise, I think we take that box. And joining hands, I think we are more than capable to make sure that preservation of life is paramount with regards to how we let in people.
Okay. Just a point of interest, why didn't you opt for maybe a bigger space like the National Stadium, or something like that? Considering, especially because you're having someone like Beanie Man, coming inside. Did you consider that at all?
Yes, in fact, not just Beanie Man, we have another contract signed by one of the biggest world acts, pop acts, and so that would also be going to break communication in due course. But yes, we did consider the Independence Square actually. But you know, Benetton Music Group and Stonebwoy has the Ashama to the World concert, and that's a more popular standing quotes kind of crowd. And so this is more like an upstate. And again, Stonebwoy by himself could fill the Grand Arena to the brim.
Yeah.
Let alone Beanie Man, even off season, could come to Ghana and fill the Accra Sports Stadium. So yes, I get you, and that's the more reason the pricing for this event straight away cuts or denies a certain crowd.
Okay, now I'm
people.
curious, Kwame, now I'm curious about the pricing. And I'm sure my listeners are like, okay, he said it twice. How expensive is the concert? Because I was already like planning, okay, 21st, I'm doing this. So do you want to just tell us how much it's actually costing so that when you talk about it, we can relate?
Yeah. I mean, for the regular tickets are going for 300 cedis. And even with that, we have limited space allocation for that bracket. So from 300 and then it goes all the way up. I mean, tables, we are selling tables and we are selling them from 25,000 Ghana cedi to 15,000, you know, so we're selling package. And if you can afford, if you're in your company, your family, for a 25,000 Ghana cedi table, I would want to assume that you would assume somewhat, I mean, who wouldn't want to risk their lives and following the instructions. Yes, I've put them in a latter phase, but that brought to bear so even in fact, I myself wish that we were doing this at the Independence Square, which originally was the plan, but it just didn't happen, you know. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, well, thank you for that. And now I think we get a better understanding of what you mean by, you know, the prices alone will definitely whittle down, you know, the numbers, and so it won't be as many. The thing though about Stonebwoy is that he's an absolutely brilliant performer, live performer. I saw him at his last concert and I was blown away. So, I mean, I definitely get that. But let me come back to you, Ken. So, I mean, do you have a plan B for if, you know, there are some more restrictions that come with the introduction of the new variant? You know, what's the way forward for you as a theater, you know, company?
I think that the worst that can happen to us is another lockdown. And when it comes to that, there's something that we did, I think, at the last festival before we came. We did both a live in-house show and a virtual show and an online show. So I don't know if, clearly we are all not praying for a lockdown because things will go very way. But we could look at live streaming as well. So would have to ask for a special permission to get maybe only the performers into the National Theatre and see how best we can bring the show to the people virtually. That is also fun. That is also exciting. But you see, the kind of work that we do, it's almost always exciting. It's much more exciting if you have everybody in there, you know, where you're getting the feedback from the audience direct, you know. And then we also preach that because our place is to enrich the family. So then we say that it's from the grandpa to the grandchild. We encourage families to go out, you know. So then what use will it be if everybody is still staying home and watching it online. Yes, we understand if it's for health purposes, fantastic. However, we are hoping, we are praying that it doesn't get to that point where, there'll be a lockdown. However, if there are other restrictions apart from a lockdown, we are willing to comply. I mean, we are already putting our people through a lot, and we know that if push comes to shove, we'll step up and ensure that everybody's safe, because as I said, safety is key for us. That's paramount for everything. So we'll put in extra measures. Currently, we've actually increased online engagement so that you don't need to go out and run around if you want to buy a ticket. You can just buy it online on your mobile phone, and then you can come to the gate and show it to us. And then, everything is almost virtual. You come there, you wash your hands already. Your mask is on, the sanitizers are there. One of our partners actually would bring sanitizers. So we actually give out sanitizers as well. Like you can't eat in there. We keep the spacing. If you come as a family, then you came together. That one, we can group you in one side, but we still leave the spacing for the others, who are coming in and all of that. And we ensure clean, safe environments for our people. As they actually have fun during the Christmas festivities. And also starting from this weekend, we started last weekend, but also this weekend as well. The Secret Code of Wives is running, and then we've been practicing this safety measures since.
Okay, well, that sounds good, and I hope that everything goes well. I'm really excited. I'm back on stage with Roverman on the 2nd of January during Festival of Play. So we're hoping that, nothing crazy happens, and we can definitely do that.
We actually miss you on stage.
Yes. I have to learn my lines and all that, but yeah, back on stage, and it's great. It's great. Feels good. All right, Ken, let me let you go. Thank you so much for joining us. And you can catch the Secret Code of Wives tomorrow and Sunday, 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. at the National Theatre. You can grab your tickets from Joy FM here, Bachona Shell, Airport Shell. You can also get it at the National Theatre, or you can go online.
Yeah.
And grab a ticket as well.
Star 713 star 5 star 5 hash. Star 713 star 5 star 5. So let me take it again. Star 713 star 5 hash, and you get it. I don't know why the numbers are missing here.
I don't know why.
Star 713 star 5 star 5 hash. So the 5s are 2 actually. Star 713 star 5 star 5 hash. And then bring your mobile phone to the gate, and we'll sort you out.
Star 713 star 5 hash.
Exactly. Thank you. Maybe I should find something to eat this morning.
Yeah, you should. You should. Thank you so much, Ken. Have a fantastic holiday. Let me finish up with you, Kwame, so I can let you go as well. So what do we have to look forward to? Concert coming up, COVID-19, all of that. What do you have for us?
Like I did say earlier on, for us at Benetton Music Group, it's more of there is always the next day to look up to, and we have said our prayers. We have made the right investments. We've confirmed our international acts, and we have packages on www.thebeamconcert.com. And once you log on, you're going to have you get where you belong and do the right payment. You follow the instructions, you are able to pay for what you can afford. But again, these are very limited seats in view of everything that we stand for, and the fact that we still want to, in the face of this unfortunate pandemic and the new variant especially, we want to still have fun, because it's just by grace. It's just by grace that better people have lost it. So again, it's Beenie Man, Stonebwoy, and other huge continental and international pop acts. And we can only hope that you and Nimua, for instance, you make a date with us, with a family, and we have fun.
All right, thank you so much, Kwame, for joining us this morning. Have a happy holiday and a great weekend, and keep those locks alive. I love them.
Thank you anywhere.
All right, okay. That's Kwame Rasta. He's part of Benetton's Stone Boys team. All right, so that's our conversation. As the weeks go by, we will, kind of see how the variant does. We'll see how our numbers do. I'm sure there'll be a few press briefings here and there. And then, we'll see what Christmas will look like. But I think the most important thing for all of us is really just staying safe. And the best way that you can do that is by getting vaccinated. So if you haven't been vaccinated, please, go into your nearest polyclinic or clinic or hospital. Almost all the hospitals are carrying out vaccinations. So it's not, too difficult now to get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Get your kids who are above 15 years vaccinated as well. And then maybe we can have a really good Christmas, and more importantly, a really good January. Because January is always, kind of the point where we see how safe we were during Christmas and December.